Thank you for tuning in to Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz and Breezy Gipson. I am music producer Achickwitbeatz.
And I'm entrepreneur Breezy Gipson.
And we're glad that you're with us once again in the place to be, as Breezy always says. And we're excited to bring you this show. You want to tell them who we have on as a special guest joining us from Florida?
Oh, man. Man, that one and only K.O. Brown, 17, man. I mean, he's in the mix. So coming out of Jacksonville, man, they rock down there. They rock.
Yeah.
Okay, they rock. So I'm glad to have him in the mix this week.
Yes. So we got that to share with you, along with music industry news, and of course beats by yours truly. And I'm just excited about it.
Oh yeah. It's a good day. It's a good week. It's actually a good month. Things are popping. The season's getting ready to change. So, I love it.
Yeah. And somebody's got a birthday coming up soon too. A certain co-host. So y'all make sure on the 19th, y'all send Breezy some love.
I'll be picking them up and putting them. I'm gonna sleep late that day. Oh yeah,
you deserve it.
Oh yeah.
You deserve it. One of the hardest
coming.
working dudes in the game, for sure.
Hey, you're the hardest working woman in the music industry. Okay, so let's make that plain. Let's make it plain. Okay, folks texting you, folks calling you, asking you questions about this, that, the other, music production, so on and so forth. Songs, this, that, the other, whatever. Okay, so I know it. I see it every day. So.
I appreciate you. All right, so without any further ado, I think we should just dive right on in.
Okay, let's do that.
All right, let's go. right, we're back with music industry news. Venue, and that's VNUE, reports that Soundstar Music Recognition Technologies platform, the main rollout is apparently a big success, and they're excited to kind of branch off into more areas. So Soundstar is it identifies music played at physical establishments like bars, restaurants, other businesses, as well as streaming and terrestrial radio stations. So their goal is to help ensure that the correct stakeholders, like songwriters, publishers, everybody involved, are actually compensated for public performances of their works. So yeah, just in case anybody listening out there didn't know, if your music's playing at a bar or one of these other organizations, that's a public performance, even if you're not there physically. They're using your art to attract people to their business, so that's why it's considered that way. But yeah, studies have indicated that as many as 81% of songwriters aren't properly paid. So this is going to kind of help fix that. And a large concentration of Soundstar was deployed in Key West and other areas of Florida. Now they've got it in Indiana, New York, Tennessee, Mississippi, and California. And apparently they're looking at other places. So hopefully it'll be a much larger rollout. But once again, their goal is just to make sure that a complete set of data is available for music. So that way you're not missing money that you should be getting when it's played in some location. So if you have actually signed up to receive information for, let's say, Apple Music for Artists, they show you how many times your songs have been Shazammed and in what locations. So when you see that stuff, you should be getting paid for that. And so that's one of their goals, to make sure that you're not missing out on anything that you deserve.
Boy, man, there's tons of folks that don't even know about that story. Okay, mm-hmm. You're helping people from east to west, to north to south, abroad, South America, Australia, the Netherlands. You're helping folks everywhere with that. Okay, and because they need to go ahead and pay those folks. You need to go ahead and pay those folks, because all of the labor, the time, the rehearsal, the recording, blah blah blah. It's a lot of hands in that chain, in that music chain, and so why pay everybody else and not the artist that came up with the concept? So, well, no, that story right there, you busted it wide open with that.
Great. Glad it helps. If you actually need more information about it, there's a full press release available on Achickwitbeatz.com. Just make sure you check out the Beats, Leaks, and Treats blog that's available there. And you can get all the details on that if you want to know more.
Tell them again, Achickwitbeatz.com. Tell them again, Achickwitbeatz.com.
Achickwitbeatz.com. Yes. Next story. Sony Music has filed a trademark application for NFT authenticated music. So what does this mean exactly? Sony Music intends to utilize NFTs to authenticate video recordings, text, artwork, and audio featuring live music. So the application for the trademark also covers marketing services, promotion, distribution, advertising, you name it, and even podcasts. So they've backed other NFT projects in the past, including funding NFT marketplace Maker's Place just last month. So obviously they've got some big stuff on the agenda. It's not a whole lot of information available about what they're planning to do right now, but you can see, just based off of what they're trying to make sure that they have covered, you can kind of see exactly what direction they're headed in. So just a heads up right there.
Just a heads up. Just a heads up. Yeah. Write this stuff down. Write it down.
For sure. And in other Sony news, they, and this is in quotes here, fully exit Russia due to the Ukraine invasion, and they're transferring Sony Music's Russian label interests to the ex-managing director for Russia, Irina Dmitrova. So this comes just 6 months after they decided to suspend their operations in Russia in response to the global condemnation of what's been going on against the Ukraine there. And so Sony Music Russia had about 40 to 50 staff based there, and they were working also with the label and indie distribution arm, The Orchard. So Now, Arena's new company is said to be completely independent and separate from Sony Music and will now represent Sony Music's locally signed artists in Russia, but international acts that were distributed by Sony Music Russia are excluded from this particular transfer. So
why would an average person that's involved with music, that loves music, that likes to participate in the whole, whether it's oh my gosh, whether it's jazz, or whether it's pop, or whether it's hip hop, or whatever, why be involved? I mean, why even like that? And then you got folks that's trying to persecute you for it. I mean, that right there, I mean, that's self-expression. Some places they just don't even want you to express yourself, whether it's through speaking or singing, or through your music or dance or whatever. Yeah, there's some places in the world they don't want you to do that. And so, I mean, that's a sad thing. 2022, but yeah, it exists.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really unfortunate, but Sony's basically trying to preserve their image, because they did say that it was due to the public outcry about what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine. But yeah, now they're claiming that her company is supposed to be separate from Sony, but they're just giving her all their artists. So I don't know. I mean, hey, we report the news. You take with it what you want and make your own conclusions based off of that.
Hey, she just said it all right there.
Right. We're just telling you the facts, the word on the street.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of the word on the street, the Financial Times reports that Hipgnosis Songs Fund has been, quote unquote, burned through and is unable to raise more. I feel like that's a really, really strong statement to make, but the background behind the whole story, if you've been a listener of the show, you know that we've had so many stories about Hipgnosis Songs Fund. And just for the record, this particular report is specifically for that, not for Hipgnosis Song Management, which is totally separate and it's backed by Blackstone. But Hipgnosis Songs Fund represents 146 catalogs, over 65,000 songs, and they've closed deals with RZA, Wu-Tang, L.A. Reid, Jimmy Iovine, No ID, and just in case you don't know who that is, he's produced for Nas, Jay-Z, Kanye, a whole bunch more people. They've closed deals with Shakira, Mark Ronson, mainly of Uptown Funk fame, Big Deal Music Group, Cobalt, and so many more. So we've had so many stories basically since the show started, because they kind of launched during the pandemic. But according to the Financial Times, they say that several artists have complained that Mark Mercuriadis, who is the founder, has failed to complete potential transactions that were being discussed. So he addressed the topic with a statement that emphasized that they need to reprice certain deals due to interest rate changes. And hey, if you've been living in the world lately, you know some stuff is going on, so that makes perfect sense. But he says that his view of Hipgnosis is strong, with ties to the songwriting community. So we'll see what kind of happens. It also concludes by saying that Blackstone is in the perfect position to kind of capitalize on this. If the stock for Hipgnosis Songs Fund keeps falling, then maybe Hipgnosis Song Management can still come up on that. So either way, the company's basically winning if you're paying attention to what's going on. But yeah, just a heads up, something to be aware of. And once again, anything with the music investment industry, always do your research and make sure you know before you pour your money into it.
Hey, yeah. Well, I caught a little vision of his secretary. He comes on, music company. Hold on. You've got Jay-Z on the line, sir. Okay. Next thing you know, hold on. You've got Kanye on the line, sir. Hold on. You've got Lil Kim on the line. Oh, dang. While she's filing her fingernails.
That's a great image. Makes me think of The Last Dragon. So Eddie Arcadians. Okay, I didn't mean to date myself there, but Yeah, anybody listening, if you don't know who that is or what that is, make sure you check it out. Last Dragon. But yeah, great image. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. And music making app Voicey has been dropped by Snapchat while
What?
Snapchat. Yeah. Yep. So while Snapchat's owner, Snap Inc., is trying to restructure, we shared with you, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that Snap Inc. was trying to recalibrate its business. They were laying off like 20% of the staff, basically saying it was due to loss in advertising. So yeah, while you might not notice the direct correlation, when these companies kind of deal with stuff like that, that's when you start to see different things get chopped, especially musically. So yeah, this is one of those things. So while they're recalibrating, they're going to focus on growing their community and revenue and developing augmented reality. That AR word, the same thing that birthed FN Mecca, which failed miserably. But I mean, you know, there's still other ways of that are going to come through. That's one of those things that, you know, if you're against it, you kind of got to just let your voice be heard. But yeah, these companies are definitely going to push through with that. And so, yeah, that's where they want to focus most of their energy. So they say projects that don't directly contribute to these goals are going to be either discontinued or just receive less money. So Zenly and Voicey are going to be discontinued, but Snap Originals, Minis Games, and Pixie will just get less money. So just something to be aware of. Anytime you see a company that offers, you know, a music-oriented segment of their business, if they get less advertising revenue, you better believe that's what they're chopping first. So just a heads up, something to be aware of. And also, as a musician, if you're marketing your music, you also need to know what's going on with these companies to kind of help you decide where you should be spending your time marketing. So yeah, Snapchat is not having a good time right now. I'm not saying abandon it, but just be aware of that.
Yeah, well, you know, when you brought that up, I just sent a shout out to one of our former guests, Prissy. She really leans hard on that, Voicey. So, hey, well, you know, there'll be other days.
Yeah, and who knows? Somebody might pick it up. You know, we've seen that happen before. It's possible, or somebody might come in with their own version of it. But yeah, Breezy, this affects your home state right here, Georgia. Georgia on our minds today. So lawmakers are expected to reconsider boosting the music industry tax credits. And so Georgia's musical performers and producers are urging lawmakers to try to give them the same boost that the state's given the film industry, just by sweetening the pot of incentives that the state offers the music industry. So the 2017 tax incentives for live and recorded musical productions are set to expire at the end of the year unless legislature renews it. So the bill proposed lowering the spending threshold to qualify for the credit from the current $500,000 for a live performance all the way down to $100,000, and from $250,000 for a recorded performance down to $50,000. So, I mean, if this actually happens, man, Georgia's going to be a force to be reckoned with if they approve this, don't you think?
I think so. I mean, everybody and their sister moving here, you know, in the music industry. You know, so I mean, everybody. So, yeah.
That's been happening. Yeah, and that's been happening as far as I know, at least since like the 80s or 90s. Everybody wants to move to Georgia. Yeah. So yeah.
But now, as of yesterday, hey, this is a sub news story right here. As of yesterday, Mariah Carey put that big old mansion on sale because she's moving because of them gang dudes. About 2 months ago, when she was out of town in Europe, them gang dudes, they broke in her house and stole a bunch of stuff, but they got caught. And they're being prosecuted. So I'm not gonna holler out any gang name.
Yeah, let's be safe with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, but yeah, so everybody's moving here, but yeah, she's moving away because of that. Things happen.
Yeah. And unfortunately, stuff like that kind of happens everywhere. We just recently heard about PNB Rock. And I mean, it's really, really unfortunate. And, your art is your art. If you got something to say, you should go ahead and say that. But this is a personal thing. Like, if you can be responsible with the music and message that you're putting out there, that'd be really helpful, because I know I'm personally tired of these stories about another rapper getting killed because they got chains on, or they got beef with some other rival gang and all this. Like, it's time for this stuff to stop. So yeah.
And tailoring in on that, I mean, we already know, well, okay, first of all, let's start with a news story, but we already know that when we go out and have a time, or leave your home, or especially if you're out of town, out of state, or whatever. If you're out of town, if you're out of state, don't go. Okay, technically what happened was Mariah Carey went abroad with her kids, and they took a vacation, and they were in Europe. And so, the kids were at the beach and everything, took some pictures of them frolicking and, posted the pictures. But see, turned out that gang, the data really came out. The truth, they said the gang combs everybody's social media. That's what they said. That's what they said. And then when they find people gone in real time, they try to move in.
Yeah. And even what happened with PNB Rock, they said so they were gone, but between watching his social media and his girlfriend's social media, they were able to figure out where he was and knew exactly what chains he was wearing. So this, so this is not to say that you shouldn't post stuff, because I mean, you still got to enjoy your life. But yeah, if you out there listening to this stuff and don't know how to challenge, like, I don't know, sometimes people can listen to stuff that's kind of got these hype lyrics that might talk about this stuff, but you got to be able to channel that into something else. Stop stealing from your own community. Stop hurting people from your own community. The same way you have family or people that may care about you, these people do too, and have to live with the repercussions once you did what you did. So, I mean, it's really unfortunate. But yeah, just, man, be responsible with your music as much as you possibly can. And, pay attention to what you're listening to. If you feel like it's influencing you to encourage you to do stuff like that, then maybe you should scale back a little bit. There's a lot out there that can probably motivate you without encouraging you to do stuff that might be detrimental to someone else.
Yeah, I'll take myself, for example. I like football. Hey, what can you, an actual live football game, and you there, the essence of the crowd cheering and everything. Yeah, you want to share that with some folks and everything. But see, now these days, you can take the videos or make the videos, then just don't post them till you back home.
Yeah, that's a thought too.
People are watching. People are watching.
Yeah. So on both sides, be aware. Yeah. And if you're on that side where you tempted to do stuff like that, just take a step back. This has repercussions beyond whatever you're going through right now.
Right. Yeah.
All right. In other news, Hit Boy and James Fauntleroy joined Kingship as co-executive producers and songwriters. So they've signed on as the NFT supergroup Kingship from Universal Music and their sub-label 1022. But they're going to basically be the sonic creative team overseeing the evolution of the group's musical direction and their whole sound. So together, they're going to work with quote unquote Arnell, which is the group's mutant DJ and producer. So of course, these are Bored Apes and Mutant Apes NFT collections that have come together. But it's nice to know the real people behind some of the sonic direction. And yeah, they've worked with Timbaland in the past, so I'm kind of excited to see what direction this is going to go. I feel like it's different to have, I guess, personas as opposed to just substituting authentic artistry. So with the augmented reality, with what we have with FN Mecca, was just basically all algorithms, but this time you kind of just got the persona, but it's still fronted by real people that are actually a part of the culture. So this is a really cool thing that I'm excited to see what's birthed from it.
Hey, yeah, me too. You know what I mean? That's worth getting hyped up about.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, they've got a lot of talent, so it's well deserved. All right, and Universal Music has acquired M Theory's label division, and they've launched Virgin Music Group. So M Theory's founders have basically been tapped as co-CEOs. So once they bought the company, they decided to appoint them the heads of the new global division for Virgin Music Group, which is going to consolidate Universal Music Group's artist services and businesses. So they had different divisions of Virgin, but now they're just going to put it all together. And basically, it'll kind of be like it was before. So it's interesting. We saw all these music companies that were bought, then kind of dismantled and absorbed into the majors. But now they're kind of trying to dissect those a little bit. We've been seeing that across all three, Universal, Sony, and Warner. So this is one of those things that's just kind of coming back because they're understanding that people have specific needs. So all these boutique labels, that they kind of shut down, still serve a purpose. And so now they're just kind of recalibrating things and bringing it back to the way it needs to be.
Well, I'll tell you what, to the listeners, we've said it before, we're going to say it right now, and we're still going to say it again. These stories are designed to help make you aware and educated. Since you're deep into the music industry or music business, or even if you're just a music lover, or, you just enjoy our podcast, still, write some of these stories down because one way or the other, it could come back to a way that could help generate some income for you or for an aspiring musician that you know. Okay. And so it's not just to say that, this company, that company, investing $1 billion, $1 million, or they made $1 million or whatever. No, it's about you taking the info and seeing if that info can apply to yourself. And it might inspire you to be creative in one way or the other. And you can partake of that even if you don't have deep pockets like they do. You still got pockets, and it might end up with you generating some income or creating some type of livelihood or business with it for yourself or for somebody you know.
Excellent point. Very well said.
Yeah. Diversify. Diversification is the word. So, if you're all into, just playing that guitar, or if you're all into being the drummer or, the lyricist, hey, you can diversify and go in another direction and do 2 things at the same time, 3 things at the same time, 5 things at the same time, and diversify. And with diversification comes a little bit of growth. And with that growth can come some financial rewards in one way or the other.
You heard it here from our financial expert, Breezy Gipson. There you go. That's free game right there.
Well, there's a guy I know named Sean Cobain. So, I give a shout out to Sean Cobain, so.
For sure. We appreciate you, homie. Gotta have you back soon. All right. India-based music streaming service Ghana is dropping its free tier and moving to a paid subscription only model. So they've got more than 100 million users, and as of Friday, September 9th, they were no longer allowing free streaming. So the CEO says that they're not shutting down at all, but after they couldn't get more investors, that's when they decided to drop this. So that's the actual news story. If you read between the lines, you know that anytime there's a free tier of something, it's usually supported by advertising. So the fact that they have to drop this shows you that something's going on with the advertising, which is the exact same thing that we shared with you earlier about Snap Inc. and Snapchat. So once again, anytime you see that, these companies where you might not necessarily tie it into music, if they're losing advertising revenue, then they're definitely going to make cuts. And this is one of those things. So the story's kind of twofold. So if you've never heard of Ghana before today, that lets you know that there are more streaming companies out there than most of us are aware of. And so make sure that you got a distributor that can get you to these locations. But yeah, if you've already been using Ghana, just know that people who might have been using it for free may not be getting your music right now. But, you know, if you got a good distributor, your music should be available other places for them to be able to check it out.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we're going to take another quick pause for the cause, and then we'll be back with our special guest for this week. You want to remind them who's coming?
Well, you know, it's from that hot spot. I'm talking about that real hot spot. I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about that music spot, the one and only K.O. Brown from Jacksonville, J-Town, Jacksonville, Florida, be joining us in a few minutes.
Hey fam, this is Breezy Gipson from the Breeze team. How would you like to see an online platform that brings you people who've already indicated that they're interested in your particular type of business? Whether it's your music you're selling, hip-hop clothing, you got a restaurant or a cafe, or if you're an entrepreneur or agent for a business. Visit me at breeze2cheese.com. That's using the number 2, breeze2cheese.com, or click my bio link on my Instagram profile to see a live demo of how this can help you get more customers and make more money.
Hey, this is Achickwitbeatz. I am a multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit my website, Achickwitbeatz.com, for resources for artists and instrumentals available in various genres for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's Achickwitbeatz.com, ACHICKWITBEATZ. Let's make something happen.
Hey, this is Breezy Gipson right here. You know, we got an illustrious guest that is right here for you today. You know, we've been waiting a long time for this young man. He's been on the grind, making some great things happen with his lyric, with his music and all that kind of stuff. And so, you know, we're really, really happy to have right here on the platform with us, hailing out of Florida, okay? The Florida Mix. That's some big stuff. The Florida Mix. I got to say it 3 times. It's the one and only K.O. K.O., are you with us?
Yes, sir. That's it. You all right?
Okay. Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. So, you know, we know about that K.O. So share with our listeners a bit about K.O. Tell them who K.O. is, you know, where you're at. Okay. And just, you know, what was it that made you get interested enough to start in the music business?
Hey, well, you know, I'm down here in Yulee, Florida, man. It's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Jacksonville, depending on where you at, because it's a lot of different sides of Jacksonville. So, you know, that's where I'm located at. And what got me started with music, man, you know, as a youngin', man, you know, you listening to what I grew up on, man. I listened to a lot of Lil Wayne, Dungeon Family, you know, Outkast and stuff like that. So, you know, that really made me like, hey man, you could do this too, you know what I'm saying? But find my own lane. And you know, as I was growing up, man, that's what I started doing. And I had a lot of roadblocks, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, as far as trying to find a studio and all this and people not acting right, you know what I'm saying? I just had to figure out my own thing. So I bought a lot of equipment, you know, save money, and that's when I started getting into the engineer thing. So not only am I an artist, but I'm a engineer also. I mix and master my own music, and I'm starting to get into doing videos also. So that's where I'm at with it.
Oh man, well see, you said some key words right there. Some key words. You said mix and master my own. Now, Achickwitbeatz,
right?
You know what that means. Tell us what that means.
Oh yeah, well, you know, that's the icing on the cake, because if you just got the shabby recordings, ain't nobody gonna listen. So the fact that you can do that yourself for your own work is really, really awesome. So kudos to you. Hats off to you for being able to do both.
Yeah,
appreciate you.
You said my own. Some strong stuff, you know. K.O., you know, tell them what it's like when somebody's out there, they're on the grind, and guess what? They don't own their own stuff. So what's that like?
Man, it's hard because it's like, man, you wanna book recording time, and when you actually get the recording session, you know, sometimes, man, there's a lot of janky things be going on, man. You might be able to, you know, you can't. Me personally, I feel like I can't think and I can't be myself when I'm in a session with somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's for you. They just trying to get some cash. Now, if you got somebody genuine, I done recorded with some genuine people, and I was able to do some great work. But you know, it ain't nothing like doing it with yourself. And that's what I learned. You know, and I was always learning and teaching myself on the internet and watching tutorials, man. And once I got it, man, I was just hooked on doing it all. So that's how I started making a little extra money on the side, you know, along with doing my own music. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I'm at.
Okay. So now, you know, one thing jumps out to me. I know Achickwitbeatz has got a question waiting, but one thing jumps out to me right away. You know what that one thing jumps out is? It's jumping out is? It's your voice. And now you got a strong voice for this, man. Okay, and you got the voice that, to me, it sounds like a voice that people, hey, you know, when they hear your voice, it's like they got to zero in on you to see just what it is you bringing, and you know, and how you bring it. You know, well, to see how you bring it, but it makes them zone in to say, hey, you know, this ain't just no little old average everyday. You know, so do people give you compliments on your voice like that?
Yeah, a lot, man. They say I got a unique voice. And when they say it, man, I try to, like, you know, I'm always a humble person. Anybody give me credit for, you know what I'm saying? But if they say something like my voice, like, man, excuse me, y'all. But if they say anything like that, man, I give it to like my dad, because he a preacher, you know what I mean? And You know what I'm saying? And he preached the word of God, man. And I just feel like, man, when I'm out here doing music, man, I'm preaching something. You know what I'm saying? Just being real and just, you know what I'm saying? So that's just where I'm at with it.
Okay.
That's what's up.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Achickwitbeatz, what you got?
Well, before I actually ask a question, I just want to say once again, hats off to you, because you said that, you know, you were teaching yourself and going on the internet and, you know, finding out stuff and figuring it out. And there's so many people that don't do that. You'd be surprised the questions I get in my inbox. And it's like, well, how you think I figured it out? Like, I went and looked for it too. So a lot of people don't have that kind of initiative. So, you know, just kudos to you for that. But what I'd really like to know is what your favorite thing is about performing. What is it about when you're doing your music that kind of ignites your passion for it?
Man, just getting my word out, you know, just getting, you know, cause I deal with a lot of, you know what I mean, the depression and stress, man, for a long time, you know what I'm saying? So when I was able to get my equipment, you know what I'm saying, for my studio, when I learned how to do it, I was just able to express myself however I want to express myself, whenever I could express myself. And I always did that in the studio, you know what I mean? So, and when I started doing that, man, I just felt cleansed, you know, and I just been going on from there, trying to help a lot of other people. It's a lot of artists around, and I extend my hand and, you know, hey, you want to do something? Woo, woo. And, you know, sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. Whenever they're ready, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, see, now, a couple of things that you said, man, it really stands out. Okay, one of the things that you said, or one of the things that I'm feeling is that, okay, you got your own stuff, okay, and once you learn, okay, so what that tells me, I hear the C word, okay, and that C word is control, okay, and see, I'm feeling really good right now because, see, you got control of a lot of stuff, you know, your destiny, you know, you say you're an engineer, so you're dabbing with that. And then the second thing that stands out is the fact that you have reached out to other people in your circle, in your community, and you say that, you know, hey, you're asking folks, hey, you know, do you want to do a little something here or this, that, the other? So it's like each one teach one. You're helping people do things, you know, and we run across some folks that, you know, once they learn stuff, then they run away off into the woods or on a mountain, and they hide and they want everything for themselves. They don't want to give back. They don't want to help anybody. But, you know, so when you do that, it takes you a long way. It really does.
I just feel you can't elevate, man, if you don't try to, like, you know, get exposed to the world, you know what I mean? Like with other people and see what they got, you know. You know, like I said, I was at that point. Like I see a lot of younger folks. I was at that point, you know what I mean, trying to find studio time and all of this. And when I see them, I see them in me. You know what I'm saying? Or I see me in them. I always extend my hand, you know what I'm saying? But like I say, man, when they ready, I'm ready. And I'm just ready for new things to come. And just like today with this interview, I'm excited. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, we're the ones excited.
Yeah.
We're the ones excited, you know, because we've been talking about this ever since the date got put on the calendar. You know, we've been, you know, so it's like sometimes I say a little too much, you know, then other times I want to say something, but I don't, you know. So, hey, we're the ones excited.
Yeah.
Okay, a chick, what's on your mind?
Well, I was thinking, you know, you had mentioned earlier about how you were inspired by Lil Wayne and Outkast and Dungeon Family, but you took it to your own lane. And I was wondering if you had any advice for anybody listening that, you know, may be inspired by some other artists, but instead of finding their own lane, they're just replicates. You know what I mean? It's like, do you have any advice for somebody like to find their own style based off of their inspiration?
For me, man, it was just looking in the mirror. You know, just looking in the mirror, man. You know, and that's the thing, man. I go by every day, just look in the mirror, and you know, I might feel one way one day, but I always look at it like, hey, man, it could be worse. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, just here, man, and find yourself. If you don't find it today or tomorrow, you eventually will find it if you keep working on it. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, and I got where I'm at. I listen to a lot of music, and I just never tried to, you know what I'm saying, like bite. I never wanted to bite. You know what I'm saying? So, and I am who I am today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody really got the right. That's my answer.
Okay.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So now, when you got to the point, you know, as an engineer, this, that, the other, you know, working those knobs or those switches and stuff like that. Okay. And then you realize that share with our listeners what it was like the first time that you decided to try to record a little something for yourself, you know, where you experimented with this, experimented with that, and then you hit rewind, and then you hit play, and you heard yourself. Okay, so what were you thinking on that very first one? Okay, were you thinking, man, you know, this actually is pretty good, or were you thinking, well, I need to critique myself and correct this a little bit right here, but otherwise, yeah, I like this. So share with our listeners what you felt that first time.
Man, I was trash. It was trash. I don't know what I was doing, you know what I mean? I got the whole, you know, I want to shout out my guy, Cedric, man, Center, man. He actually had gave me my first little bit of equipment first. And he didn't give it to me, he let me hold it. And then he showed me how to record. And man, I started recording. I'm thinking the whole game is just to record. And then I started listening to mine and comparing my music to the sound of, like, you know, main artists and stuff like that. I was like, man, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's what made me start buying. I started looking at YouTube tutorials and buying the exact equipment that of the videos I was watching. You know what I mean? And going step by step. I was buying the expensive mics, all the plugins and all that, everything I needed. So once I got everything I needed, man, I was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, my first few songs, I feel like they was trash. Not the songs themselves, but the quality of the sound, you know. But, you know, I'm on a whole nother type of time. And, you know, and that's what I'm doing.
Love it.
Yeah, man, that's strong right there, man. But see, you know, you're helping us, and then you're helping all the listeners out there right now by saying, because see, some people, you know, they want to front. They don't want to really tell all the details, you know, whether, you know, but they want to make everything a success, and they want to hide the failures, or they, you know, they don't even, oh no, I never fail. You know, let's see, you know, so your realness is showing through, man. And you know, hey, that's on the good side right there. It's on the good side. So, and now I heard you say, get the good mics. Now, share with our listeners what's the difference between a bad mic and a good mic.
Man, a bad mic, it'll be like distorted. You know what I'm saying? Like the first mic I ever got, man, I taped it on my mom's wall in high school. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm thinking I can do it whenever, you know. But man, I started listening to my songs. I'm like, I got some good songs, but they're so distorted, you can barely hear like my words. You know what I'm saying? So then, like I said, named Nooney Jr., man, shout out to him, man. He took me to my first real studio. And then that's when I got introduced to different microphones and things like that. And then the other guy I told you about, he had one of those condenser mic or large diaphragms. So once I started understanding what those mics, those different meanings of the mics meant, then I started, like I said, I always look at tutorials and stuff. And I was getting a lot of information from guys that was major players in the game, you know. And then I got a better understanding of, you know, what my people were telling me about, and that's how I started purchasing the different mics and rolling like that.
Okay. Achickwitbeatz, he's rolling with that talk, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of times people will, you know, hear their music and maybe it's something that they don't like, but once again, they don't take the initiative to find out what they need to do to change it. And so, I hope that that's a lesson that some people walk away with after listening to you, is that, to keep that determination, to keep that grind and learn as much as you can, so that way they can have the same confidence and get to a level where you're at with what you're doing. Okay. Now, once again, we kind of talked about who inspired you already, but I'm just kind of curious, like, what's the least likely song? Like, do you have a guilty pleasure that most people, if they know you, they'd be surprised to find out that you like it, or an artist that you like to listen to that nobody would expect?
I mean, I'm a fan of all music, man, honestly, man. So I don't know. I really have to sit down and think about that, man, because you might catch me. I don't know. I just have to sit down, man.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
To be honest, Dirty Diana was a good song that I used to like, man, by MJ, man.
Yeah.
I always want on that, man, like what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna come through, and then I hear other people doing it. I don't want to do what they do. I want mine to be a movie. You know what I'm saying? But but I just left it alone, man. I just enjoy the song.
Okay. Love it. To see the inspiration to the unlikely, artists, it kind of shows the range of the person's creativity. So that's why it's always a fun question to ask. But it didn't mean to put you on the spot. But yeah, that's what's up.
Okay. So now we're gonna really fast forward. We're gonna fast forward. Okay, so to this point, see, now you've got music done, you've got links everywhere. Okay, so now share with our listeners, where your music is, and most importantly, how they can buy it.
Okay. I got a series that I started called PSM, Problem, Struggle, and Motivation, and I'm gonna just run that from 1 to whenever I stop doing music. So right now I got out a project called Problem, Struggle, Motivation, the leak, where I just leaked all the music that I've been doing. You know what I mean? That I know I'm not on a main project. And it's like 27 songs, and it's on this thing called audiomac.com. And you can find it K.O. Brown, Problem, Struggle, Motivation on audiomac.com. And then I also have some music on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. You know what I mean? I got my Facebook link is K.O. Brown, K.O. Brown. And then my Instagram is K.O. Brown 17. So you'll find a lot of music, man, on my social media pages and stuff like that. But like I say, I got some coming out for everybody. Everything that I've been putting out is just out there. I got some I'm working on brewing now.
All right.
All right.
Excited. Man. I like the way he said that. It's brewing now. All right.
Me too. Okay, so now I caught that one thing you said. You got a series, okay? So now, to me, that's like turning on a light switch, because guess what? If you got a series, then that means that, it's September, so that means October, November, December. Hey, around December now, we got to have you back, because, see, we got to keep that out there in front of the folks about the series that you got, and we know holiday time and whatever. Hey, that might make a difference. Somebody might be looking for something different and whatever, and hey, we get you back on around the holidays, and hey, let you do this again, and then hey, you keep doing the series, and hey, try to keep bringing you back. How about that?
Hey, man, hey, I'm down, man. Like I say, man, the series, man, the first one, the leak is out now, and the part 1 is as the real project. It's on the way within the next few months. So be tuned in for that, because I promise you, man, you won't regret listening to it.
Wow. Achickwitbeatz, I think he's about the first person that ever came on and said they got a series and used that word series.
Right.
I mean, that's heavy right there. That's heavy right there. Because a lot of artists, they're looking at that one and done, and you already looking at a series. I mean,
yeah. Because I mean, when I I started it, man, my brother, man, you know, D Gibbs, man, he always, man, you do it, man, you got to do it now. You know what I'm saying? Time is now. That's all he preached to me. Time is now. Time is now. And I'm like, yeah, time is now. But time gonna be till whenever I get ready to be done too. You know what I'm saying? So he already reads, man. He already know I'm coming. His problem with me was never the music. It was about me putting myself out there and actually grinding. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem with a lot of people that be around me, that with me. So yeah.
Okay. Well, Achickwitbeatz, I mean, hey, this is it here. I mean, you rolling, man. You rolling. He's rolling.
Came in strong with a lot of good information, and you know, it's really great to hear your experiences. And I know this is really uplifting for us as well as the listeners. So yeah, thank you, and yeah, I can't wait to have you back again.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate it.
Representing that Florida, that FL on the map. Okay.
Man, I'm a 108 baby, man. Hey, that's where I'm at down here.
A 108? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, the clock on the wall, man, is looking at us kind of hard, man. So we're getting ready to start winding this down. Okay, and I know you said it once before, but you know, real quickly, say one more time where folks can buy your music.
Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube. Just type in K.O. Brown, and then my Facebook also is K.O. Brown, K.O. Brown. Instagram K.O. Brown 17, and yeah, man, y'all go check me out, man. It's different. It ain't the same old same. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot be on my mind. I want to appreciate y'all again for having me as a guest, man. And anytime, I'm willing to do it again.
Okay. Well, let's look at that holiday season, man.
Holiday season.
Okay. Well, listen, folks. We have spent this time right here with the one and only K.O. Brown. He's laid it down, gave you some insights on his career and everything. So, you know, we really appreciate him. And I'm saying to you, we appreciate you. And so, Achickwitbeatz, I'm going to turn back over to you so you can close this one out.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, I pretty much said what I had to say. It was great to have you on, and looking forward to it again in the near future.
All right. And I look forward to getting some of those beats also.
Hey, you ain't said nothing but a word.
All right, man. Keep it in the road, man. And we're going to get back with you.
All right, man.
All right. That was really, really great to have him on. Just such a pleasure. I can't wait to have him back. I mean, yeah, that was just incredible.
Yeah. I mean, you know, realness, total realness, you know, and you can hear it in his delivery. You can hear it in his voice.
Yeah.
His voice, man, you know, so that's why I say, you know, you got a very strong voice, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it commands your attention. Yeah.
It does. So shouts out to him and his endeavors down there in J-Town, Jacksonville, Florida, and beyond. So looking for some great things to continue with the one and only K.O. Brown. You find him on Instagram, K.O. Brown 17, and other places, and check out his music.
Yes.
And not only check it out, buy it.
Yeah, there you go. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So that concludes this week's edition of Music Marvels with Achickwitbeatz Breezy Gipson. Once again, we thank you, the listener, for tuning in. We thank our home stations, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, and Sparks Radio out of Denver, Colorado. And yeah, I'm just excited to do this again next week. You know where to find us. Tune in, tell a friend, and we'll see you then. Peace.